Hello and welcome to Schmidy's Guide on beginning to tank in Secret World Legends. In this video I will be showing you how to start off tanking right as a fresh level 50 who's just finished up the storyline and is looking to begin Elite Tier 1 dungeons. The first thing that you're going to want to know is that there are 3 weapons in this game that are made for tanking. They have skills that generate large amounts of hate, which allow you to hold aggro even if you're not doing as much damage as someone else. So these weapons are Shotgun, Chaos, and Hammer, and they are going to be the 3 main weapons that you use while you're tanking. You essentially have to have at least one of those 3 weapons on your build somewhere or you will not be able to tank. So we have Hammer and Chaos unlocked, so that's where we're going to be starting. Right now, we're going to start with the gear because it's changed up a little bit. The expectations from the Secret World to Secret World Legends have changed. I think in a more intuitive way now. It actually feels a little bit more obvious that that's the way it should have been. Which is that now the game expects you to be running a full set of health talismans if you are going to be the tank. And you will still be able to hold aggro even on people who are doing considerably more damage than you. So that is actually probably a good thing. If you've been trying to get to where you can tank and running a full set of health gear, fear not. Unlike in TSW where I would be telling you half your gear is now completely useless, all that gear is totally useful here. So this is currently what I'm running. For glyphing, it looks like right now you want to have still 1 hit rating glyph, and I would highly suggest that whatever your hit rating glyph is on, that it be the same item slot as it is in your DPS piece. So that way, if you can use a couple DPS pieces, because you may not always need to have a full set of tank gear if you have a really strong healer or if you've got really good gear, then you'll be able to seamlessly switch between the two. You won't ever have to worry about, oh, did I just lose my hit rating because I switched to this DPS piece. So put the hit rating in the same spots if you can. I think that makes it a lot easier to tank and interchange these DPS pieces if you feel you want to. Then for the glyphing, it's mostly just defense rating. There are 2 glyphs you can use for tanking. One is defense rating and the other is evasion. So defense rating seems to be the more consistent because while it doesn't block all the damage, it blocks the damage more often. Whereas with evasion, it's an all or nothing. You're either taking 100% of the damage or you're taking 0% of the damage, but you're not taking 0% of the damage as often as you are glancing. So as you can see right here, right, my glance chance is 15%, my evade chance only 3.9, even though I have slotted a level 20 elusive because I got an intricate. This is the only evasion rating glyph that I have on my tank gear, and I'm not sure it's correct. So glance chance is really good. I have it on basically all of my pieces except for the hit rating piece. All of them are just defense. Then I'm still using my DPS gear weapons, so they are both going to have critical rating on it. That doesn't matter too much. The amount of defense that you can get just from all of your talismans seems to be more than enough. So now let's go through an example of a build that you can use while tanking. There are going to be less of these than there will be for DPS, and I will be trying to make a more comprehensive guide in the future. But for now, let's look at this tank build. So we are running Ground Pound, which is the high hate AoE skill. Basically, you're going to see that the bottom line on each of the tanking weapons is the line that we're going to mostly be looking at. Then we have Seethe, which is actually coming from up here. Seethe is just great. It adds 4 hammer energy, which makes it so that I can use Pulverize more often, which is going to generate me more aggro, and Pulverize has a great passive, which is going to make it easier for me to tank. I have Burning Wrath, which is a AoE power ability, so that I actually can hold aggro on a bunch of things at the same time if I need to. I have Pulverize, of course, for a single target high hate damage, and I am running Eruption because the elite at this point in time, if you have a healer, doesn't seem to matter too much, so you might as well be stacking exposed or doing a lot of damage. That kind of thing seems to be better than running, say, Raging Volcano. At least at this point in time. If you get to a point where your gear isn't quite up to speed or your healer isn't great, then the debilitated that you get off a Raging Volcano might be really strong. And then finally we have Distortion, our only Chaos skill, just so that we have a way to use our Chaos energy, and it's just a high-hate single target. So this skill right here is basically your switch it around skill. So if you've got something from a long distance that you want to gain aggro on, you can slot this for Evulsion, which forces the target to attack you for 5 seconds, and it's got a 15-meter range, so you can grab a boss who's really far away and force him to attack you all the way up until the point where you can actually start hitting him with your melee range high-hate skills. If you feel like you're dying, you can absolutely swap on something like Pain Suppression or Thick Skin into this slot, and that will also work really well. But for right now, I've generally not needed that, so we're running Seethe. For our passives, we are running Outrage, which gives us extra rage when we use Seethe. This is just as good for tanking as it is for DPS, because I'm getting more hits of Pulverize or any of these weapon, hammer weapon consuming abilities that I have. And the rage is giving me extra healing with Percussive Maintenance, which heals me for 7% of my maximum health every time that I use an enraged bar by using this attack. I want to still have Resonance Cascade because as the tank it's nice to be buffing your party, so I'm generating extra paradoxes, and when I do generate a buff, it will give that to my entire party immediately. I'm running Veil of Deformity, which is not an incredible skill, but it's definitely good enough. It's just going to give me more protection rating every time that I attack something with Distortion. And finally, I am running Blessing of Octed, which gives me a higher chance to get my Chaos abilities divisible by 8, which generates paradoxes. So this is just basically to make sure that I'm trying to get more buffs from the paradoxes and get more of the procs of the paradox controlled chaos specialty for this weapon. And that is really what I'm going to be using right now. You just run in. If it's one target, you use Pulverize and Distortion. If it's two targets, you use Burning Wrath and Ground Pound. And then you just have whichever elite you feel is the most effective for this spot, and whatever cooldown you think is going to be best for you. And that's how you're going to be tanking. It doesn't seem to be too difficult yet. Elite 1 is still fairly forgiving in several spots that it will not be in the future. So this build has been working great for me for every single one of the dungeons that is currently released in the game. And I'm also going to be showing you it's so easy that you can be the healer and the tank without much more effort than this. And that'll be coming in the next guide. I hope to see you there.